Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed that little change showing that lovely new college choir adding lyrics to the Morse theme. It really is, it's lovely. I've put the link to my post about that. I think it's about 2 years old, and I've written all the lyrics into the post as well, so you can listen and read the lyrics as well. Just done for clarinet, Judy. There might be something online somewhere or published. You never know. Anyway, hello and welcome to our first discussion about the Endeavour series. Of course, we're starting with the pilot episode, and oh, you're welcome, Judy. It's lovely. It's if that doesn't cheer you up, nothing will, I don't think. I loved when I found that. I actually bought their CD as well, which that theme is part of. I'm trying to remember. Oh, if you want to know what the CD is, let me know. I'll go and dig it out quickly and I'll show you, because it's a lovely CD that New College does. Let's start where we normally started during discussions. A few of you already told me your scores on Sunday, but if you'd like to add your scores out of 10 for the pilot episode, please feel free to do so. If you're new, you're not one of the usual suspects to the discussions, please don't feel forced into giving a good score. On this chat and for me, you'll never be admonished for giving a different score than everybody else. If you were here for the Lewis streams, you'll know we had very different scores at times, from 5 to 10 for some episodes we have. So, as I said, you won't be criticised for doing a different score. Mine's is 9 out of 10. Bert's 9.5, Sue, who's Cocoa Bird, is 8, Judy 10, Caroline 9 as well, Gila 22 is 9, Terry, who's T_MC, is 10. Bear with me a second. Banning someone there, sorry. I know many don't like to give a 10, but I give this one a 10, says Kat. I don't see anything but not perfect about it. Holly 10, a lot of 10s here. Carol 9, Dawn 9.5, James, hello James, got 9 out of 10. And the music was a definite 10, Caroline, that's very true. Although Jack is a 9. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, as you know, I've given no episodes 10, Morse, Lewis and Endeavour, and that's just me, as I said on Sunday, being hypercritical because of, writing reviews about it. There's just a few things I didn't like about the pilot episode. One of them was the very long exposition at the end, where Endeavour was going through how he came to realise who the murderer was, etc. I think it was a bit long, but I'm really one of those people, and I know it's hard to do in detective shows, who believes it should be show and not tell. It's a minor thing. I mean, yeah, the look in the mirror should bump it into 10. Yeah, I mean, as I said, that really affects me emotionally. I remember first seeing that, and it just stunned me when I first seen it. And I think, as I said, it's the whole thing with Morse and John Thaw. It's all wrapped up in the same thing. We know Morse is dead, and we know John Thaw is dead, so it gives that double emotional kick. When you see his eye, it's just, even just talking about it. Bert, this pilot really grows on you the more times you see it. as you discover more about the Morse universe, the more you appreciate it. That's very true, Bert. It's a great. I've watched it numerous times. It's a great episode. Very well written, Russell. You know, again, this is what annoys me with the later episodes of Endeavour, because you know what a good writer he is, and this is just fantastic. He's just done a fantastic job. But they were all good in it. Terry, St. True Terry, Callan, the dress clue blew my mind. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, again, there's a little thing about how the opera singer dressed in the rain, you know, at the beginning, in the hope that someone would come along that road and see her. Again, that's a little, you know, what was the chances of that happening? I don't know. Maybe the opera singer, I've forgotten her name, that's terrible. Maybe she knew it could be fairly busy at that time in the morning, but I said it's forgivable. It's very forgivable for the rest of the episode. Butterfly 79, hello Butterfly. Are you new? I don't recognise your name, Butterfly. So very, very, very welcome to you. You give it a 9. I didn't get to see the pilot until I had watched some of the Endeavour series. The pilot really gave me an aha moment. Yes, it must be interesting to come to the pilot if you've watched a few other episodes before that. Big welcome, Butterfly. Glad to see you. It's always great to see new people. Jack, the look in the mirror gave me chills. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it always will. I don't think how many times you watch it, you may not cry as much as you did the first time or get as emotional, but still be part of you. It will give you chills. Rosalind Strawman, thank you, Bert. Judy, first time I saw it, without knowing all the intricate ins and outs or the Morse Easter eggs, I was in love with it. It was a 10 for me then. Now knowing a bit of the secrets and behind the scenes, still a 10. That's fine. Love Thursday. Yeah, I've said before, whoever cast Roger Allam as Thursday should have been given a knighthood. Fantastic choice. I'm not sure if, I think he was the first choice. I don't think it was offered to anyone, or what? No, it wasn't. I don't believe it was offered to anyone else. The same with Sean Evans. I think he was the first and only choice. So Judy goes on to say, you loved the storyline. It was sweet yet heartbreaking. It was his love and for Rosalind, and the fact that he lost his favourite opera singer. Yeah, and that she probably could easily return his feelings had she not. Yeah, but it was a good romp, absolutely. Terry, that dress thing's a good point. Why wouldn't the vet stop and help her or check if she was okay? Yeah, that's very true, Terry, as well. I mean, I think anyone, male or female, have you seen someone who looked in distress? You think they would stop? So yeah, there's little things like that. But as I said, you can't take away, the 9 or 10. You can give it. You can forgive it because of the rest of the story, the plot, the writing, the acting. Again, that's the problem with later episodes, that you can't forgive certain things like the acting of Ludo and Violetta, who weren't very good, as you know. At least my opinion. I think I did say on Sunday, I'm sure that they're good actors but not great actors. There's no real depth to their acting. James has a question. Thursday relates to Morse over a pint of beer. The pathologist's report. Yeah. Mary had been pregnant within the last 6 months before her death. It appears she had an abortion, a very professional job according to Max. I assumed the father was Miles Percival, as she broke it off with him 6 months previously. However, I'm not sure who paid for the abortion. I'm not actually sure if it was Miles, James. I don't think it's ever made clear that it was Miles, because I mean, we know, well, I think we do know she had sex with quite a few people up at the big house, the politician, played by Patrick Malahide. We know she was passed around there, so it's possible she never knew who the father was. Who paid for it? Again, it could have been Miles, it could have been the Patrick Malahide character, or it could have been Samuels, the garage owner. But it's a hard one to answer, James. I don't think, unless anyone else can remind me, but I don't think we're ever actually told. And I just assume that it could have been one of many people, unfortunately. Bert, give the vet a break, Terry. He had his hand up a cow's uterus for 5 hours. The man was tired, very much. Yes, Bert. Very true. James, I should say abortion was perhaps illegal in 65. It was, sadly. Well, there's a lot of what they call backstreet abortionists, James. There was a lot of that in Britain at that time because it was illegal. So it wasn't that difficult to get an abortion because there was most of these people were known who would, there's a lot of women did it as well, gave backstreet abortions as well. Oh, Kat, that's a good point. Yeah, but is that what? Yeah, Kat says that Miles' roommate said he was saving himself for marriage. But do we take that with a pinch of salt, or is it true? So if it's true, then it wasn't Miles. He was not the father. Good point, Kat. Yeah, I forgot all about that. Judy, I bet Teddy helped her line up an abortion. He knows everyone, probably, absolutely, because there were so many powerful people at these, well, orgies for lack of a better word, and of course they would know the kind of people. Carling, I sure hope the father wasn't her actual father. No, I don't think there was any sense of an incestuous nature in that line. No, I think it was one of those many horrible people who were having sex with young girls, with Patrick Malahide, etc., etc. I think it was going to be one of them. Hello, Starshine. Sorry, it was initially on my phone, and on my phone I had the name Butterfly. Oh, I see, right, Starshine. I use Twitch for my grandson's robot competitions. Oh, so that's maybe why I have two names. Starshine. I like used to do work with butterflies, as most of you know. I was an entomological scientist up until about 15-20 years ago. Still miss it, still miss entomology. I'm half thinking of sort of not doing it professionally. Can't get a job at my age doing that, unfortunately, but I'd love to get back into it in a small way. But with everything going on between work and uni, it's going to be difficult. James said that he hopes it wasn't the horrid and corrupt garage owner who was Mary's father. No. Katarina? Did he actually know that he was her father? I think so, Katarina. I think so, but you're making me question myself now because I'm trying to run the episode through my mind. I think, yeah, I can't think of. No, I think you. I won't say 100%, Katarina. But I think he did. I think yes. I'm not. Excuse me. Sorry, Judy. The lodge connection. Did Teddy have a lodge ring? The mum was furious that Teddy had arranged the orgy sleepovers and pimping of underage girls. Did Teddy have a lodge ring? I need to check the episode to see. Let me just power up the gramophone. Yeah, he certainly knew Sharon was the mum. Yeah. No, I don't think. No, I don't. No, I don't think Sharon's father was the was the was the was the father of Mary. I don't think so. I hope not. I don't think there's any indication of that. But did it say who was? Did Sharon say who the father was of Mary? You've got me thinking now. I'm trying to remember now if that was mentioned. Yeah. It's okay, Judy. No, it's possible. Let me just put the episode on and see if we can get a look at Teddy. Very difficult to see, and it's something maybe I could look at later. I'll go through the scenes and see if I can get a good picture of the ring. It would be interesting to know, even at that time, Russell was thinking about the Masons, etc. So I'm just going through chat. Let's see, James. I suppose we'll never know who was the father of Mary's aborted baby. I don't think so. Because it's made obvious that she had sex with quite a lot at these underage orgies, or who helped Mary with abortion. Judy, that is true that Miles did have an illicit relationship with Roz, but I thought it was a reaction to heartbreak and been passed over by her. Did he actually have sex with Roz, or was it just simply flirting? Again, it's never implicit in the episode either whether she was simply flirting with Miles. So again, I'm not sure about that one. Bert, not the same kind of pinky ring that we see subsequently in other Endeavour episodes, no. It's a bit smaller, isn't it, Bert? The other ones are a bit larger and more obvious. By the way, who did that pinky ring belong to in the other episode with the missing notebook? We never found that out, Kat. I think, again, it's one of those things we have to wonder. As you know, quite a few things happened in the Endeavour series with things going missing, and there was a notebook, and what else went missing? There was something else went missing as well. There's other items that went missing as well. I don't know whether Russell's going to make that part of Series 8 to wrap it all up, to let us know who was the person taking the items out. Yeah, well, again, he's got a lot. If he does go down that line, Russell's got a lot of things to tie up in 3 episodes, so he may decide not to do that. It'd be very hard, I think, to tie up so many loose ends, but that's one maybe he will try to do. Who is taking the various items. Caroline, yes, they had sex as we saw her in lingerie with Miles leaving. All right, Caroline, yeah, you're right, thank you. She took his watch, right, yes, that's true, yeah, thank you. I guess they don't all wear the ring because that would make the secret handshake unnecessary. That's very true, Terry. ACC Deering, yeah, it could be Assistant Commissioner, isn't it? Yes, it might be him. I'm trying to think, what episode did Deering first turn up? I think it was in the 2nd series, wasn't it? Or was it the 3rd series? I need to look to see which one that is now. I'm sure someone can tell me. Yeah, what was it? Yeah, who dealing? Just see if I can quickly just thing me that. Google that, see if I can find it. See who it was. Sorry everyone, I'm just trying to see if I can find out who that was. Or when it, I think it was the end of the second series, wasn't it? When Thursday got shot. No, I'm not finding it. Hopefully someone can tell me. Sorry about that. Let's see. Time to design a pinky ring for the Scalawan Society. There's a good idea. Need to decide though what would be the engraving on it for us. We need to think about that. The second series, yeah, I think it was the last episode in the second series where Thursday gets shot when we first came across Dearling, ACC Dearling. Did we see him again after that? No, we didn't. Did we? We never seen him again. But it's not to say he's not the one that's taking all the items. Let's see. Judy's convinced that Russell has a long game going on. Well, he'll need to resolve it because he's only got 3 episodes to do it. So he's only got, what, 270 minutes to resolve a lot of different things. Yeah, he was only in 1 episode, Bert, yeah. Was it Deering or was it Deer, Bert? ACC Deer. Was it Deer? Oh, it was Neverland. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Yes. Or was he shot to death in Neverland, was he? Heavens. It's a while since I've watched that episode. Because he shoots Thursday. Did Thursday then kill him then? I think you could be right, Carol. So it can't be him then, ACC Deer. I think you could be right that actually, yeah, Thursday, what he shot was he shot by Endeavour or was he shot by Thursday who went to the ground? He was definitely shot. Right, Bert. Did he actually die? Okay, when we get to that, we'll need to watch that and see whether it was ever said he actually died or was he just injured. But then you have to assume he didn't die, he would have been in jail for shooting Thursday. Right, so we're getting a bit bogged down there, right? Katerina, it would be horrifying but not impossible twist if Thursday ends up being the culprit, and that is why Morse never speaks of him in later life. That's good, Katerina. But yeah, it would be horrifying to think that Thursday was the one taking all the different items. It would be a great idea for why Morse never talks of him in later life. But, it would be a horrible thing to think that was him. But we have seen him taking bribes. And other beating people up, so would that be beyond him? That's a damn good idea, Katerina, for why though Morse never talked about him. So you may be right. Maybe that's what it is. James, ACC Deer was shot by the girl who was the daughter of the doctor who covered up the crimes. Right, thank you, James. Right. Unfortunately, it's been a while since I've watched those episodes. Right, so where should we start? Let's watch one of the clips. Sorry everyone, didn't mean to close that down. I don't have the clips ready, I'm afraid. Very busy today. Cat, Series 8 was supposed to start filming in March, but now with lockdown as it is, will things change by March? I don't think so. I think it could be stopped again, postponed again, not cancelled of course. I think it could be cancelled again, but Russell said filming was to have started in March of this year. But with the way things are going, with this second strain being even worse than the first strain, I don't see it happening unless something amazing happens, and unfortunately we're nowhere close enough. They may do it, they may go for it. They did manage to film Line of Duty a few months ago. I think they finished the filming of that. So they may go ahead, but just be very careful. But it depends, of course, because in Line of Duty did it, there wasn't a major lockdown. So I think it will all depend what's happening in Oxford, if they will continue to go for March. So let me just sorry, I meant to, microphone's way over there. I meant to get clips, but it's just a very busy day at university stuff. Oh, here we go. So here's the scene with Miss Frazel for the first time. Interestingly, she was asked, because I know when I seen this and I heard that comment in a different life, and that really sort of, that sort of got to me as well. That was lovely. But Abigail thought that it didn't affect her in any real way, like it affected the fans. So, but here's that little scene. It's a lovely scene. I suppose that's a little connection there when they said the sub was on a holiday hiking in the Highlands. I suppose that's a small connection to Dead on Time, where the doctor is excused for missing the inquest in Dead on Time. In the Morse episode, he said he was out hiking, I think, in the Highlands, I think it was. Anyway, so where's James? What's James saying? Yeah, Abigail is very good. Yeah, she's very good in the role. Again, it's a nice touch by casting. I wonder if I must ask Russell. I haven't, unless someone else knows. But I don't know whether Russell asked Abigail to play that part, or whether it's casting. I'll put money on that Russell Lewis asked her to play the part. Yeah, I think so. Did Abigail know she would be in a recurring character at this point? No, nobody knew, Bert, because as far as Russell Lewis was concerned, the pilot, it wasn't a pilot then. It was just going to be a one-off movie, just to give an idea of what Morse looked like when he was young. I'm sure Russell was hoping to get a series out of it, but as he said himself, he had no idea. There was nothing to say. ITV never said to him he was going to get a series until, of course, how successful the pilot was. And it only became a pilot, of course, once a series was commissioned, but before that it was just going to be a one-off movie. So as far as everyone was concerned, it was just a one-off. But I'm sure, as I said, Russell was hoping to make a series out of it. Judy, I love her comment about another life then. Yeah, do you believe in that astrological guff? Yeah. Plus the fact that she's John Thaw's actual daughter, yes. Chris, that would make scene knowing that last mirror scenes. Yeah, as I've said before, he must be kicking himself because, as we all agree, it would have made a wonderful final scene in the final episode of the final series. That would have been fantastic, and it's going to be hard for him to beat that, but hopefully he will. Again, we talked about that on Sunday, about what he could do, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, ITV, yes, they always wait to see what the reaction was for a one-off thing. You've got to imagine Russell was hoping for a series out of it, but of course these days nothing's guaranteed. It has to do well in the ratings, but before any chance of that, as you all know, in America, Canada, Britain, anywhere, the pilot doesn't do. There's been lots of dead pilots. There've been lots of pilot episodes that have never made it to series, and lots of actors who have been in failed pilots through the years. Oh. Yeah, it's two good episodes. It's two good scenes. The mirror and another live scene. But again, very well written by Russell as well. So I'm just waiting to see if James is going to add his tenuous connection. Yeah, again, I don't know if I'd be happy with if Thursday was the person who was taking the evidence, or stealing the evidence. There's no other way of putting it. But as Katerina says, it'd be a fantastic way of giving a reason why Endeavour never talks about him. So here's James' connections. The Professor Bernard Crowther in Last Bus to Woodstock utilised coded messages or cryptic clues. That's true. Sending letters with acrostics in them. That's right, to the nurse. In this pilot, the first bus to Woodstock. Rowan Stroman used the cryptic crossword clues and yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if I was the first person to use that term, first bus to Woodstock. Because I know I came up with that a few years ago, but I don't know if I was the first to use that name. I don't believe Russell ever used that term. I could, maybe I heard it from somewhere, and that's why I used it. Now, sometimes due to them not that obvious, sometimes they can take a few views to see. I mean, when I do my reviews, I have to watch quite a few times to try and catch everything I can. Even then, I miss things as well. It's like, for instance, I missed, as James pointed out, I missed the Manfred Mann song playing on the radio in the pilot episode. For some reason, when I wrote my review, again, I watched it numerous times, and it just never hit me for some odd reason. But I put it on it's on the review now. Manfred Mann, Do Wada Diddy, isn't it? I think. Not one of my favourite 60s songs. According to IMDb, this is the title used to refer to this Endeavour pilot episode. See, I've got a funny feeling though, James, that I came up with that 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't think it was there originally in IMDb. I could be wrong. I'm maybe being rather arrogant here and saying I came up with it first, because I have noticed in IMDb that quite a stuff that I have written on my website appears on IMDb in relation to Morrison, Lewis and Endeavour. But I could be wrong. Maybe that's where I first saw it. It's possible, Bert, as I said. Maybe I seen it and unconsciously thought that I had recreated it. I probably didn't. Kat, Bert's using emojis, and you can. I think I don't know if Bert's using his own emojis or Judy as well. They said I was thinking about creating emojis for the chat. Again, it take quite a while to actually do that. They're fairly easy to make. but they take a while to put together. Callie, I missed Colin when we watched on Sunday. Right, well, I'll put it, Colin, the lovely Colin, up. Oh, actually, it might be interesting as well. I think just talking, you just reminded me, Caroline. Let me just find that first. There it is. Okay. So before that scene, of course, in the pub, we see Colin. We're in the mortuary, and the morgue, sorry, and what is a mortuary, isn't it? Anyway, so of course with Thursday, Endeavour, and Max, and I think it must be hard. It must, as an actor, it must be so difficult to do a convincing feint, because I've seen other actors doing it and it's not very good, but my God, Sean Evans really does a great job at feinting. And I think what's also great is Thursday's reaction to Sean Evans fainting. It's a great almost double take, and then a sudden it's a simple scene. But I'll play it now before you see the pub scene with Colin Dexter. But if you watch the acting of Sean Evans' the faint, and then the reaction from Thursday, it's absolutely wonderful acting. It's the scene in the mortuary, I think, as I said, it's quite a simple scene, but it's very effective, and it shows you the good acting from Sean Evans and Roger Allam. As I said, fainting, to act out a feint can be easy. I've seen it done many times badly, where it's very obvious the way just the way Sean Evans. There's no histrionics. It's very simple, and he goes down. And I love Thursday's almost double take when he sees what's happening. But yeah, I think it's a simple scene, done simply, but acted very, very well. Katerina, I hope for Evan's sake they had beer substitute in that glass, or he would have been more than a little drunk after a couple of takes. Yes, you have to assume so. I was a candy striper. Oh, Terry, I was a candy striper volunteer 1,000 years ago, and used to wheel in operation trays for us to clear and sterilise. You're just young teenagers. Yikes, that's a tough job. Starshine, my husband, son and I started watching a surgery show shortly after my brain aneurysm. Oh heavens, Starshine. I had similar done, so we had to switch off quickly. Oh yeah, I can imagine. And I'm hoping I'm assuming, Starshine, you made a full recovery from the brain aneurysm. Heavens, that must have been a scary time for your husband and your son, so you can understand why they couldn't watch that. Kat, you were nursing too. Terry, my friend stayed outside the room and would only put the clean instruments away. Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to do that job, I think. I don't mind. I've watched, there was a British show last year were doing an autopsy, and I don't mind. When it comes to the eyes though, I have a real hate. I can't watch any kind of thing with the eye, but anything else I'm okay. Yeah, I think I can only imagine. Yeah, Judy was asking, what's the condition called when you have a fear the sight of blood? I can only think maybe hemophobia, for obvious reasons, but I need to look it up and check for that. James, mechanic Johnny Franks, who worked for Teddy Samuels, said his alibi was playing a darts match at the Railway Arms pub in Didcot, another connection to the Wolvercote Tongue. That episode features scenes from the Didcot Railway Museum. Yes, there's lots of TV shows have used that as a location, haven't they? See, an orthopaedist who does an amputation always hands a severed limb to the newest arrival, do they, in the operating theatre? Oh, that's horrible. Or is it good? Because they have to get used to it, so sooner the better. Yeah, maybe it's a right thing to do. Maybe that's what it's a good thing to do. Judy, we could all meet in Dublin and have some beer together someday, and then go over and pester Lord Chris. You'd be very welcome. Also, I'm sure most of you know that when you see those glasses, pint glasses, many of them are false. They've got an inner, how can I describe this for those who don't know? When you get scenes where they use a beer, what they have is inside the beer glass is like another glass inside, another tumbler inside. And what happens then, so what happens, you fill it up, but all it fills up is the beer or whatever drink around the edges, and then the top, because the inside is is another piece of glass, but obviously it's turned so nothing can go inside it. So you see the pint glass, it's filled, and it looks like it's filled to the brim, but all it's full is the sides of the glass and the top of the glass to hide the fake glass inside. So it's never a pint they're drinking. It's barely a quarter of a pint they're actually drinking. Caroline, I love the scene where Morse shares his summation of clues to share Bagley Woods as a location and was dismissed before all heard the update where Mary was found. A great look in Sean's face. Just that lovely little smile he gives. Bert says orthopedists have the reputation of being rather crass. Really? Oh, I wonder why. Is it something about the job that makes them that way? Or are they already like that? And that sort of profession draws them? That's interesting, Bert. That is a magic trick, Chris. Too. Yeah, that's been done for many years. The false glass with drink to make it look like you're. Whiskey is normally cold tea. In Scotland, though, quite often they use iron brew, which is a carbonated drink. But when it's flat, it looks like whiskey. So often that's used in Scotland. When they're filming in Scotland, and they use that. What day was cheese and pickle, James? I think it was it Wednesday? Did Fred say it's Wednesday, so it must be cheese and pickle? I think. I did a post about all the let me just check which it was now, all the lunches, the days, because it was Wednesday, the day we don't know yet. I know I did a post on that. Let me just yes, it's Wednesday. I guessed in my post it might be cheese and tomato, so maybe that's one of those things that Russell will reveal in Series 8, what's in Fred's sandwiches on a Friday. Because what did he have? He had cheese and pickle, so it was Monday. He had cheese and pickle in the episode, didn't he? So that's Monday. Callie, I'm just starting to explore the Endeavour part of your website. So much for that. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Caroline. I know that there's a few people who haven't watched the Endeavour series, so it's understandable why you wouldn't read the reviews. Let's see. Yeah, looking at blood might not do it, but adding the smell and ew. Yeah, that's a strange, isn't it? The blood. It's I must admit, it's not something, thankfully. My two things are needles, and I said anything that's, no matter what it is, if it's something to do with eyes, touching them, or oh no, I can't stand it. Oh, hello, Ivor. Hello. Maybe Mrs. Thursday went to the market daily or every other day and bought small quantities. That's possible. James, a tower block of flats shown next to the fictional Carshall Newton police station at the beginning. Do you know where this was filmed? I think actually you're talking. Yes, I think that's actually not real. The flats, but that's not real. The flats outside the CGI of some sort. Sorry, folks. Yes, James. I think this is just CGI. This. I don't believe that's a real building. I even think Carshall Newton Police Station isn't real either. I think that might be. That part could be real, but I believe this part and these parts behind are all CGI. I don't think this is a real building. This may be new. Even I think that might even be CGI, and the only real part maybe is the metal barrier here. I'm not sure, but just it looks like it's not real. It looks CGI. Again, maybe that's something I need to ask Russell. Why was Morris going to resign? I think it was just he was fed up with where he was. Maybe where he was in Carshall Newton Police, it wasn't pushing him as a detective, as a constable. It wasn't doing what he'd hoped the job would do. So he was just deciding to maybe planning, as he said later, to go back and finish his degree or to do something else. But I think it was simply that he wasn't feeling that the job was fulfilling at the police station, and it's not until he gets back to Oxford and works with Thursday that the job becomes interesting. That's my only take on that, Kat, why he was going to resign. James, a connection to the last scene wearing this Endeavour story features a girl going missing from an all-girls school. It's true. But thankfully the girl in the last scene wearing does turn up. Yeah, Morse did despise DS Lot, and he may not have liked being a policeman. Yeah, I don't think he did, Caroline. I think it wasn't fulfilling enough for him, and maybe he wasn't being utilised enough. He wasn't being taken seriously enough, and excuse me, maybe all the jobs he was getting as a police officer in Carshall Newton were all minor jobs. So that would push anyone to thinking of resigning. Katerina, you get the feeling he was turning into a bit of a drifter at this stage with no job really sticking. Yeah, because of course he left the army signals into the police force. So yeah, I mean at that age, because he must have been, what age would he have been in that time? It depends. I don't know what real age Sean Evans was when he started. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think maybe was he late 20s, Sean Evans, when he started in the series. I'm just trying to work out what age Morse would have been in the police force. If you go by John Thaw's age, John Thaw was 45 in 1987 when he started Morse. So that would mean Pilot was 1965 was when it was based. So that would have to make Sean Evans' Endeavour only 23. That's young, isn't it? I don't know if that's what he would supposed to be in the Endeavour series, but if you run off the John Thaw ages, that's what he would have been. So 23 would be very young to still try to find your way. If he left uni around 20, yeah, he was in his third year, he probably would have spent at least 5 years in the army, so he would have been at least 25 when he left the army. Let's say he's 3 years in the police force, so he's 28, so they're not going as along the same what John was when we first got to know him in 1987 as Morse. So Johnny was with 31 in the pilot episode. He's born in 1980. God, right. So I'm assuming that they're taking Sean's real age as to what Endeavour's age is then. Yeah, he does look. I mean, yeah, you're right, Bert. John Thod did look in his 50s. Due mostly, getting lots of snow here. Due mostly, of course, to his grey hair. But he was only 45. Endeavour said it was in signals for 3 years, right? So if we take it, then he was a signal for. If he was in uni, say till 21, for doing 3 years, seeing he left school at 18. 3 years at uni, 21. 3 years in the signal is 24. So if we take it as Sean is 7 years in the police force. No, I don't think it's. I think Endeavour's age is supposed to be late 20s, because I think it doesn't say, but I imagine he's been in the police force only 3 or 4 years. So they're taking Endeavour's age is around 27, 28 maybe. Yeah, he's still maybe just trying to find himself, so thank heavens he found Thursday, who gave him more to do and allowed him to be who he was. Though of course that changes in the later series of Endeavour as well. Let's see, James. Patrick Malahide's a great actor. Was depicted as a kind of corrupt conservative aristocrat minister, you thought. Yeah, according to the time frame in 65, it was a Labour government. Yeah, well, the Labour's not without its aristocrats. And I mean, Tony Blair, he went to Eton, I think. Did he go to Eton first? I know he went to a very posh school in Edinburgh, which is called Fettes. Did he then go to Oxford? I think Gordon Brown was in Oxford. So I think even then, of course, I mean, majority of people in politics, be the Labour or Conservative, did come from Oxford or Cambridge or London School of Economics, things like that. So I don't think at that time it didn't make much of a difference. It was a long time before you get more working class people becoming MPs, especially for Labour. Yeah, absolutely. Sean, he doesn't look 31, Sean. That's for sure, Bert. He does look like early 20s. It's amazing how much transformation we've seen in how he looks now and then. Did we ever find out how Morse was when he died? No, because I don't think Colin Dexter ever gave a date of birth for Morse. I mean, if you took it again, John Thaw was died when he's 60. So we're taking Morse died when he's 60. Then again, we take Colin Dexter was born in 1930. So did we take it then that Morse was 70? Is that 72? No, that's like not 72. What was Colin? 80? Was it 86? I think when Colin died. 87. So yeah, I'm not sure. Katerina, Severus of All the Dead, Chapter 6. A bachelor still 47 years old. Right. So they've always got around the same age as John Thaw himself then. So because John would have been what, 45, 46 when he shot Service of the Dead, Service of All the Dead. The scandal that Dempsey mentions he was clearing up after was an actual one. Of course not. No, I can't. I think we should, if you don't mind, we shall call it a night. But what I'll do, very true, Bert, to see why chats can go on for 3 hours. I know we do go off in lots of different tangents, digressions, as those new to the to either in the chat or just watching, you will find it's very rare we stick to what we're supposed to do. And James Fox is supposed to be the person who herds in the sheep that we are. I think he failed tonight. So let's watch, of course, the final scene before we go. Rachel, I enjoy this episode much more having seen the rest of the series. Looking forward to Sunday. Thank you, Rachel. And yeah, I almost did it, James. I almost went through without mistakes. Almost. So yes, thank you everyone for joining me tonight for the discussion. Hopefully I'll see you on Sunday for another great episode. First episode of the first series, Gill. It'll be interesting to see what you think of that one. Again, I think it's a fan favourite, but you can let me know on Sunday or next Wednesday. It'll be every Wednesday will be when we have the discussions, and always at 7 p.m. unless something strange, something happens, of course. Who can tell what's going to happen in the future? Hopefully we can't tell. Too scary we did. So yes, thank you everyone. Have a lovely week, what's left of it, and have a lovely weekend as well. Please take care, especially in these times. I'll see you on Sunday.